recognize problems that they have, people don't recognize that, then they don't deal with it. Then and then the problem just might get bigger, or the problem might have a very negative effect. People have a sugar issue and they're not watching the sugar issue, then they could, the diabetes, it could really become a real issue. But if you know you have the issue, now you know what to be careful, right? So that's the same thing, right, Mr. Haber, that the Gemara is saying, perhaps, when it comes to the Yetzer Hara. We're recognizing, right, Ralph? We're recognizing we have this evil inclination, then we know who our enemy is, and we know to be careful, to beware. We know, like somebody told me, a young couple said that every Friday night, they always feel the challenge of having an argument. And they realize every Friday night, they said, they don't understand what's going on. Every Friday night, they're it's interesting, right? A young couple told me that. And then they realized, Rabbi, is it true that Friday night is the time that a young couple gets into arguments? They realize that, yes, the evil inclination is trying to, to take away harmony in one's home.
See, I can't hear well, so I can't see to my way.
So and finally, it took them a little while to figure it out. And now that they figured it out, now they know that there is this evil inclination, there is this Yetzer Hara that tries to get the young couple to be upset with each other, try to make a big deal over nothing, right? So that, and Ralph, you don't know what I'm talking about, obviously, but you could just imagine such a thing. And now they're ready for the enemy. They've identified the enemy, and therefore now they are careful and they're overcoming. Okay, but that's the Yetzer Hara works on the old couple, works on the young couple. He works on every couple of all ages. He's out to get everybody to sin. So we are on 52. A3 on the top of the page. We just said that Hashem, we said that the Torah Rabbanim says, Svoni archik me'alechem. Hashem is going to get rid of the Yetzer Hara. Aaron, would you mind getting a call for Mr. Haber? Thank you very much. A little milk. You like a little milk? A little milk, yeah. So the pasuk says, in the future, Hashem is going to remove, he will distance the evil inclination from us. Like we said, Hashem is going to take away the power from the evil inclination. And because when it says, Esasvoni Archik, the thing that's hidden in you, I'm going to distance from you. That's what the Gemara says. This is the evil inclination that's hidden. It's in the heart of the person. I'm going to throw it away, send it away to a place that's desolate, meaning lamakom she'ein bnei adam musil l'skaros mehem. I'm going to send it to a place that there's no people, that it's able to incite, to no people, no customers, to incite to go to do sin. That's how far I'm going to send the Yetzer Hara away. He's not going to have the ability to have any power over the people, to encourage them to sin. I'm going to take away his power. Et panav el hayam hakadmoni. The Yetzer Hara put his focus to destroy the Beit HaMikdash, the first Beit HaMikdash. Meaning, how was the first Beit HaMikdash destroyed? As a result of sin. Mr. Haber, is that correct? The Jewish people, Mr. Haber, correct? The Jewish people did different sins that led to, they worshipped idols. They had women they should not have gone with. There was murder. How did that happen? How did those sins happen? The answer is, they had the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination, waged his war to get the people to sin, and he was successful. and he got the people to sin. And that's what the pasuk says. That the pasuk says El Panav El Kadmoni. Kadmoni is the language of the first. He put focus at Panav. He put focus to destroy the Beit Hamikdash through getting the people to sin. Vechrivu, and he was successful. And the Beit Hamikdash is referred to El Hayam, the ocean. Why is the Beit Hamikdash referred to as an ocean? Just like all the rivers run into the ocean, so too all the people would come, Rashi says, to the Beit HaMikdash. Everybody would come from all over. And he was he was successful, the evil inclination to get the people to sin. And not only got the people to sin, he killed the people, the Beit HaMikdash got destroyed, and the Talmidei Chachamim Shabo. And it's emphasizing not only the Beit HaMikdash, the Torah scholars also got killed. Maybe it's equating the destruction of Beit HaMikdash to the death of a Torah scholar. Perhaps it's recognizing how the tragedy of the death of the Torah scholar is in itself also similar, of equal prominence to the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash. And then the pasuk says, "V'sofo," that at the end he went El Hayom Achron. He went after the next ocean. We are now on 52A3, Adam. And we're talking about the evil inclination putting its focus to going in, getting us to destroy the Beit HaMikdash. He put focus to get us to sin by the first Beit HaMikdash. And then he put focus to get us to sin by what? The second Beit HaMikdash. There he got us, we learned our lesson. We did not fail so much we're not failing Avodah Zarah and murder and Gilui Arayot in the second Beit HaMikdash. But what he got us to hate each other. He got us to have a lashon hara, to speak negative about each other. He put his focus to get us to sin in the second Beit HaMikdash. Shenatan einav b'mikdash sheni. That's called Yom HaAchron. The Achron is the last one, the second Beit HaMikdash. He got us to sin. And not only did he was successful in destroying the second Beit HaMikdash, v'harag Talmidei Chacham Shabo. And he also killed, the Torah scholars got killed in the second Beit HaMikdash. And as a result of that, the Yetzer Hara is going to be punished. It's going to be sent away from the Jewish people in the future. V'ola bosho v'ta'al sachanato, that he's gonna, so to speak, his smell, his odor will come up, will rise. That means he's not gonna no longer have any power anymore. It's like something spoiled. Shemeniach umoto olam v'miskare b'sonenim shel Yisrael. And the way they're translating it, this odor comes from the fact that he leaves the nations of the world, and he puts his focus on the Jewish people, that the Jewish people should sin. That is what the Yetzer Hara, that's what evil inclination is putting his focus. The same way the evil inclination, when he puts his focus on the Jewish people to get them to sin, if we put our focus to do the right thing, we also will be successful. And let's see how they trend. So the pasuk said, yes.
So tell people they're doing the wrong thing.
You tell people they're doing the wrong thing, but you have to explain your question, Aaron.
So you said you get success when you do the right thing, you do the right thing.
Right.
If someone's acting the wrong thing, supposed to say anything?
Yes, you have a mitzvah to educate the person and tell the person that you're doing the wrong thing, and you have that's part of one of the 613 mitzvot. It's a mitzvah to go ahead and give rebuke and tell the person that you're doing something wrong. and don't you see a person not keeping Shabbat, using his phone on Shabbat. You have a responsibility to say something to the person. Say, by the way, you can't use your phone on Shabbat. There's a way to do it. There's a way to say it. But you have a responsibility. If you're at a table, someone wants to talk bad about somebody else, you say, let's not talk about these things. But better to look foolish in the eyes of people than to be foolish in the eyes of God. And you know what? Hopefully, you'll gain their respect by they see that you're a person that wants to do the right thing in life. So we have to stay strong and stick up for what's right. So the way they're translating this, this last part of the Gemara is that, v'ola basha v'sal tachanoso, is that the evil inclination, and maybe he will be deserving. He'll be deserving of punishment. Some translate because of his total morning, because of his focus on trying to get the Jewish people to sin. Okay. Now, it says about the evil inclination, and because he wants to get the Jewish people to sin, he's so focused on that, Hashem will eventually go ahead, and that's why Hashem will go ahead and push him away. It says about it says that's the end of the pasuk. Amar Abaye, higdil is like the language of Gadol, the great people. He puts his focus more to get the great people among the Jewish people. He's focusing on getting the Torah scholars to sin. So according to this, if you ever see a real rabbi sin, sometimes in the news, they say a rabbi did a certain sin. Anybody who has a beard, they call a rabbi. Not every person who has a beard is a rabbi. That doesn't make you a rabbi because you have a beard. Am I correct, Simon? Everyone's wearing a beard today. It doesn't make you a rabbi. So that's first of all, I always like to say, if the news says a certain rabbi did a sin, I want to say, show me his rabbinic ordination. You call him rabbi. I want to see, where did he get smicha from? I don't believe he's a real rabbi. That's number one. But we do see from the Gemara, now let's say it is possible that a real rabbi sinned, that did something, a terrible thing. So based on this Gemara, we have a better understanding how could it happen. Because based on the Gemara, the evil inclination is working hardest. The one who's trying to get to sin the most is the great person. He's going after, that's like you're going after the big win. The big win, if you could get the rabbi to fall, right? To get the average guy to fall doesn't take so much. The average guy it's not as equipped, not as strong. But he's going after the big win, the gold. The gold medal is to go ahead and to get to bring down the big rabbi, bring down the rabbi. So that's what the pasuk says. Where the pasuk talks, right? That's the biggest win. If you could get the rabbi who represents Torah to do a sin, to have a relations with a woman that he should have, not his wife, or something like that, or what that might be, then it's the biggest win for him, because he got the one who represents Judaism to fall. So I'm happy to say I don't think he's very successful. But if there is an individual case, if you hear of such a case, maybe it was because the way the Gemara is saying, maybe it's because of the fact that the evil inclination has been working very, very hard to do this, and he finally won. Finally won. That's what it could be, based on the language of the Gemara. Now, just want to take a look at the pasuk that the Gemara brings. Okay. Now, and the Gemara illustrates this with a story. What was the story? The story goes. Kihada Abaye. Abaye went ahead. So Abaye went ahead. So again, we're translating that pasuk. We're saying that Hashem is going to go ahead and knock out the evil inclination. He's going to throw him away. He's going to take away the power from the evil inclination. And the reason is because of two reasons. Number one, because of what he did, that he caused the destruction of the first temple and the second temple, and the death of the Torah scholars. And also, the second reason why he's going to be removed is because he went ahead and he focused on the Jewish people more than any other nation of the world. And because of his focus, because he left, he did not focus on the other nations of the world. The Gemara is saying here is that the other nations of the world he doesn't put his focus on. That's not the big win, to go ahead and get the nation of the world to sin. It's not the big win for the evil inclination. The evil inclination win is to get the Jewish people to sin, and that's why he deserved to be removed. You know, I wonder if you think about the old America 100 years ago. You know, I don't know. You know, it was a place that I presume that, you know, I don't think the evil inclination, the people were, the non-Jewish people. I don't know if they were. Good morning, Yosef.
Good morning, Rabbi.
Morning. The evil inclination wasn't putting his focus so much on them. It was always focusing on us. On giving. And now today, it seems like the evil inclination, everybody's focusing on everybody in this world. We see what's happening, where the world is going. But the Gemara says, or the world is in a situation that he doesn't even have to work hard. You know, he doesn't put his focus on the world. It's just it's the norm to sin today for a lot of the world, the way the world is going. But for the Jewish people, to get the Jewish people to sin, he puts his focus. The Gemara illustrates that the evil inclination works very hard on the rabbis. Abaye shamelu gavra de kamali itasa. Abaye heard a man say to a certain woman, Nagdim v'nezel v'orcha. Let's leave the city early in the day. Meaning, let's get up early in the morning. People aren't around, and we'll go together. We will accompany each other. Now, it's not daytime. It's still late in the night, and it's possible that since it's not so obvious, it's dark still, maybe they will sin, this man and this woman. And Abaye overheard this man say to this woman, since we both have to travel, let us go together. Now, obviously, this man and woman going together is not a modest thing, traveling with this woman in late at night. Abaye said, if they go alone at night, I'm afraid they're going to do a sin. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to accompany them. So I'll be nearby, and therefore, if I see anything that I'll show my face, and they won't go ahead and and sin. I presume that's what so Azel Abaye said, Azel Afrishina Meisura. So listen a little bit what Aaron was saying. You see, Aaron, you see, he was trying to prevent them from sin. So he said, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to be on that road with them while they're traveling, and I'll help prevent them from doing sin. Also, Batrayu Talata Parsi Bagma. He went, plus a parsa is about 72-minute walk. So the language of the Gemara is he went, it was a couple of hours, a little about 3 hours. Sounds like a long trip. He was following them, and what happened was, and they were walking near the swampy areas, and he accompanied them. What does it say? And they didn't sin. He saw that they didn't sin, and kihavi parshim adodi. And when they left each other, when this young man and woman left each other, shaminu de ka'amri. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Rabbi.
So he heard that they were saying, just to bring Mark up to date, the Gemara is saying that the evil inclination works harder, try to get the rabbi to sin, than to get other people to sin. I presume he has to work harder because was probably his job is a harder job to get the rabbi to sin than the other people to sin. And Abaye followed this young man and woman, and they were traveling together late into the night, and he was afraid that they were going to sin, this man and the woman, because it was dark outside and nobody was there. So he went to a company to be nearby to prevent them from sinning. He takes responsibility. If you see something that's going to happen that maybe people are going to sin, try to prevent them from sinning. You have a responsibility. Shaminu de Ka'amri. Abaye heard that they said to each other, Urchin v'chika, meaning our places where we live are a distance from each other. They're not near each other. So now we can't keep on walking, because the more we walk in one way, we're getting further away from the other house. So we got to separate. Each one has to go on their merry way. But they said this savtin b'sima. But our being together, walking together, our company together was so enjoyable. If we would be able to continue going together, it would be very nice. But we need to separate. And each one went on their merry way. So Abaye says, so God, there was a nice ending to the story. It wasn't good that they went out alone late at night. You know, there's certain laws called yichud, a man and a woman. Can't put yourself in a place that alone in a certain situation that you could sin, right? You can't have a woman come to your house and no one's expected to be in your house, and just, you know, have a meeting with her in a place where nobody's going to come in and spend enough time there that maybe a sin can happen. You know, it's interesting. This week's parasha is Naso. Naso, the Shabbat, we're going to be talking about a Succah, a woman that, when it was alone with a man, a certain amount of time, and we don't know, did she do a sin? Did she not do the sin? Her husband warned her not to be alone with the man. Really, you don't need a husband to warn a wife not to be alone with a man, but that's the case of the Torah. But here they were wrong for being alone, but there was a nice ending that they didn't actually do the actual sin of sleeping with each other. So Abaye said, when Abaye said, Iman the Sunny Lehave, if it would have been me that was alone with the woman, it sounds like they didn't know that Abaye was following them. And I presume Abaye was following them just in case he started seeing that they might want to do a sin, he would stop them. So Abaye says, if it would have been me, if I would have been alone with the woman, I would have done the sin. That's what Abaye says about himself. He says, I know myself, if I would have been alone with this woman, I wouldn't go be alone with the woman. I wouldn't put myself into that situation. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, right? Because I wouldn't put myself in that situation, be alone with the woman, because if I would be, he says, I would have sinned. And he says, I would not have controlled myself. And now Abaye is saying something's wrong with me, he's thinking. This man was alone with this woman, and you know what? He was alone for a long time, and he controlled himself. He didn't know that I was watching him, and he controlled himself. But me, if I would have been alone, I would not have controlled myself. So he felt very bad about himself. He thought that maybe there's something very wrong with him, that he would not have controlled himself. So Azal, Bayu went, he went ahead and he was leaning on the bar of the door like a person who's just thinking, contemplating, feeling bad. Like a person, sometimes a person feels bad. Sometimes people put their head down when they feel bad. And sometimes here a person will go ahead and he was just leaning against the door, just feeling bad about his situation, thinking about himself, feeling bad that he would, that this average guy who went with this woman alone at late at night is stronger than him. So he thinks there's something wrong with him. So Atahu Sabah. So a certain old person came. Sometimes some say it refers to Eliyahu and Navi. An old person came at that time, Tanalei, and he taught him the following: Kol hagodol mechaveiro yitzro godol himen. The greater you are in Torah and mitzvot, your evil inclination is also greater than the other guy. And he comforted Abaye. It's not that guy is better than him and there's something wrong with you, but his evil inclination is smaller, is less, and therefore he didn't sin. And therefore, now, so that's Abaye's understanding. Now the question is, this? How do we understand this Gemara? Is it that the rabbi feels the urge to sin greater than the other person? This is how it seems like from the simple reading of the Gemara. It's something to think about a little bit, because if you think about it, do you think that Ramosha Feinstein, his urge to sin was greater than other people? David HaMelech, it says about King David, the libi chalo b'kirbi. He was so great that he knocked out his evil inclination in such a fashion as if it was dead inside of him. Chalal is a dead person. The evil inclination was like dead by him. So it's hard to. So we have to look more into this concept. What does it mean that the evil inclination, according to this Gemara, according to the simple reading of the Gemara, it sounds like that the greater the person. You see, I can understand that the greater you are, the enemy needs to be much greater in order to be a challenge, right? If a person is a great Torah scholar, great rabbi, if the evil inclination wouldn't be strong, then there's no challenge for the rabbi. So and you could say, and therefore maybe the inclination is strong, but his Torah is so strong, so it knocks it out. But the question is, is it that the rabbi feels that the person who is the Torah scholar, the big rabbi, feels the urge to sin much more than the other person? That's needs further research.
Rabbi Dave, footnote 36, the Rambam makes an important distinction between the rational and
Mitzvot, okay.
So it's saying a righteous person actually does not feel, I think, much of an inclination to the things like killing people and stealing that are rational, easy to understand. But when it comes to things like sexual immorality or kashrut that aren't necessarily rational, that seems like that's where
He's more vulnerable.
Yeah, that's where being righteous doesn't negate your human nature in those regards. Being righteous means you understand so well the rational stuff, so that's maybe not a problem.
Right, but I would have thought that the fact that he's a person's righteous and he works on his yirat shamayim, on his fear of God, he should not feel that challenge even for any type of good morning, for any type of mitzvah of sin, whether it's natural or not natural, understandable or not understandable. I would have thought that the greater you are, being so great brought you to the level that you should not feel the challenge in any aspect of life. That's
Maybe it's only
right, but I would have thought that the greater you are, you've trained yourself in all areas. So that's why this Gemara is a difficult. You know, we have to need to see more commentary if they talk about this idea of the greater you are. Like I said, I can understand the greater you are, Hashem could put a great enemy against you, but you're going to win because of your greatness. Meaning, just like you could have a boxer, and you could have and if you're a professional boxer, and you'll take on somebody else, but because you're so great, you can easily knock him out. He could be a real opponent. Mike Tyson can knock out anybody, but pretty much. But it's even if the opponent is a strong guy, but he can knock him out because he's Mike Tyson. So, but does the Mike Tyson feel the challenge that he feels to such a challenge? Is it such a challenge for him?
I think with Mike knocks different people out in different ways. Guy who's just smaller than him, then he relies on the strength, no problem. He's just so strong. But maybe he uses a different tactic for some people. Like, we think of Mike Tyson as just delivering the knockout blows. Maybe he has to fight like Mayweather sometimes if it's someone who's even stronger than him. I think with a lot of these things that we can't defeat, like sexual stuff or the food stuff, we don't defeat it by making ourselves not human, because that's almost not realistic. We have to use these strategies, like Abaye is saying, where it's like, I don't even go there because I'm fooling myself if I think like I could be so holy that I could go in those situations and still not do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it's something to look very, very more into. Okay, Amar Rav Yitzchak, and I mean Rav Yitzchak says, there was a Gemara earlier that the Gemara says that, according to one understanding, is that the tzaddikim, the righteous people, will say in the future, after Mashiach, after the evil inclination loses its power, God takes away his power, they will cry, according to Rashi, about, wow, we were able to overcome, we had a real big fight to knock out this, the great challenges that we had in life to overcome the evil inclination, which would indicate, like this Gemara, that the greater you are, there's a big battle going on with the righteous people against their evil inclination, because the evil inclination is much stronger for the righteous people. So that would also lend itself to this idea that the greater you are, the greater the evil inclination, and you have to work harder like anything else in life to overcome. And you can overcome. It's not a problem. You could do it. As long as you're on top of your game, you could do it. Amar Rav Yitzchak, Yisro shel Adam miskaba alav b'chol yom. The evil inclination every day is working hard and trying to get you to sin every day. It strengthens itself every day. It's not like every day, it's power that it was yesterday. Morning, Gary, morning, Akiva. It's not like yesterday, he was certain strength, and tomorrow he remains the same strength. On the contrary, every day he tries to get stronger every day. Shenema, As the pasuk says, now we're turning the page. Rak ra kol hayom. The whole day, this describes the evil inclination. The whole day, the evil inclination is intensifying his war against the person. It's like sometimes, there's a battle. The battle, certain amount of ammunition is going. And then there's an increase in ammunition against in the battle. So that's what's happening. The whole day, he's getting stronger. He's getting stronger against the person. So it's that's the evil. That's the evil inclination. And if you realize that he's getting stronger, so the fact that you defeated him in the morning, you might have defeated the evil inclination at 9 a.m. in the morning, but 10 a.m. he's going after you even stronger. He's getting up more strength. He's continuously adding strength, trying to get you to fall. He doesn't let up, and he gets stronger and stronger. As long as you are doing your part to get stronger and stronger, you're able to defeat him. Amar Reb Shimon ben Lakish. Now Reb Shimon ben Lakish, he says it in his fashion. Yitzro shel adam mizgabe alav b'chol yom. Every day, the evil inclination is getting stronger and stronger throughout the day. Mevakesh lamito. What is the evil inclination trying to do? It's trying to kill the person. That's what the evil inclination is out to do. We have to know. We know we have enemies out there in this world that want to kill us, but we have to realize that the great enemy that we have within us that's trying to kill us. And we also have to realize that the enemies outside there get a lot of their power from what happens from the enemy inside of us. If we give into our evil inclination, that gives strength that we should have enemies have the power to destroy it, to hurt us. As it says that the Yetzer Hara, God bless you, he has three names. He wears many hats. It's a Gemara Bava Batra. The evil inclination is called the Yetzer Hara. He's called the Satan, and he's called the Malach HaMover. He first tries to get us to sin. If he's successful, he goes up to heaven and he prosecutes. He says, Satan. And then if he's successful in his prosecution, God gives him the right to kill the person. He's called the Malach HaMavet. He's the angel of death. And here, that's what we see in the Gemara. What is he trying to do to us? He's trying to kill. And if you understand that the evil inclination is trying to kill, so if someone's trying to kill somebody, how much we have to protect ourselves and take the proper precautions not to get hurt. Sofer Rasha Latzadik. The evil, the Rasha, is looking towards the Tzaddik. He's looking to get him. The Rasha in this pasuk is referring to the evil inclination. He's trying to get us to sin. And as a result of getting us to sin, now he has a ticket that the person should die as a result of that. However, if we would not have the help of Hashem to overcome the evil inclination, we will not be successful. Now, God does not just protect us from evil inclination. When we do our part, we work hard, we take steps to knock out the evil inclination, then God helps us, that we'll be successful. Because remember, we're going up against a big enemy. We're going up against an angel, this evil inclination. Powerful. He has all these tricks up his sleeve. He gets stronger every day. He never, they say New York is the city that never sleeps. The Chovot HaLevavot says the evil inclination never sleeps. You wake up in the middle of the night, he's there. He's there, right? He's there any time of the day. You wake up in the morning, he says, don't get out of bed so fast. Stay longer in bed. That's it, right? He's there. Late at night, he tells you, don't go to sleep. Stay up late. Watch the show longer. Be more tired. Don't do, he's constantly available throughout the day. But who helps him? He wants you to do his real sin. But Hashem, only with Hashem's help. Shenema, as the pasuk says, Hashem lo yazvena biyado v'liyashena b'shavto. Hashem is not going to go ahead and leave you in the hands of the evil inclination. And he goes ahead and he helps you out. And therefore, we daven. In the davening, we say, we even pray that the evil inclination, that by the Birkat HaShachar, by the last bracha, we have this language, which the evil inclination should not rule over us. We have to realize we should pray that Hashem should help us in our battle to knock out the evil inclination. Recognize that, and the Gemara says the Kedushin, Hashem says, I created an evil inclination, and I created the Torah to knock him out. So when you engage in Torah study, good morning, Daniel. When you get a man engaged in Torah study, hello, Rabbi Mizrahi. When you engage in Torah study, that's what knocks out the evil inclination. The more you engage in Torah, the more you engage in mitzvot. And like the Mesilat Yesharim says, that there's nothing, Hashem says, I created this devil, so to speak, this evil inclination. The way to knock him out is by Torah. When you learn Torah, when you do mitzvot, this is the way to knock him down. People who don't learn, you should feel rachmanot for them. You should have pity on the people that don't learn, because they're not equipped to go ahead and knock out the enemy. So therefore, let's encourage everyone to come to learn Torah, and to learn Torah tonight is Shavuot. I want to wish everyone a Chag Sameach. And also you should remember to make sure to enjoy the holiday. Make sure you get something nice for your wife, or she gets something new in honor of the holiday. To get some good wine for yourself. And also make sure the poor people have for the holiday. Have a great day, everybody. All the best.
Rabbi,
Yes.
it sounds like the more Torah you're learning, the bigger evil inclination is going with you.
Yes, but you're gonna overcome that. It'll be greater. According to the Gemara, it'll be greater, but you'll overcome it. You'll knock it out.
Yeah.
Hashem will help you. Have a Chag
Okay, Hashem.
Sameach.
Chag Sameach, Rabbi.
Yes.
Bye.